This video covers Sketching Basics 2, where you are creating a sketch in a new part. So what that means is you obviously need to create and open a new part. So I'm going to go up here to File and say New, and just click right here. And you will probably already be in the English folder. You want to be in the metric folder. So double click on this, and that'll bring up all the standard metric parts. So you can click on this one, which says standard mm.ipt. The IPT is a part file. So you can just double click on that, and it will open up a part. What you're going to want to do is say Start 2D Sketch, and pick any of these planes. I would suggest the XY plane, but really any of them will work. Okay, after you have started your sketch, you're going to see this environment. And what you're going to start with is, first I want to point out, you can see where your cursor is down here. It'll give you a little bit of a size perspective. So you can see out here I'm around 22 millimeters out. So what you're going to want to do is click on the line tool. And what I want you to notice first, there's a yellow dot there, which is your origin. So if I hover over, you can see my cursor is yellow right now. And if I go to the origin, it's going to change to green. That's because it snaps to the origin. So basically, Inventor recognizes that you're going to want to place it exactly on the origin. So it clicks to there. So start by clicking there. And then what you should do is make sure you're around 45 millimeters out. Don't type it in. Just go out until you're around 45 and click that down. Now you'll see that there's this little glyph right here, that picture. That is telling you that that line is forced to be horizontal. So now I'm going to come up, and you're going to see that it's going to snap again, and it snaps to where the two lines are perpendicular. And you can tell that it's saying perpendicular because that little red and black square appears, and that means that those two lines are perpendicular. So I'm going to click this down. Now you can hit escape a couple times, and you have these two lines drawn. One is purple and one is green. This is because this purple line is constrained completely. Shouldn't say completely. You can still move it left and right. So the size is not constrained, but by constrained, I mean there are certain things about it that aren't allowed to move or that are constrained. So right now I would like you to hit the F8 button. This other way to do this is to right click and say, well, it will say show all constraints. Right now it says hide because they're actually showing already. So this right here, these are called your constraint glyphs, which are just little pictures. The fact that this shows two horizontal lines, one of them being ground, means that they're constrained to be horizontal. This one means that those two lines that highlight in white now, you can see when I pick that glyph, it's going to show the two lines that are perpendicular. So as you can see, if you pick the top of this line and try moving it around, the location of the lines move, but the fact that they're perpendicular and that the other one's horizontal does not, it doesn't allow it to be anything but that. So now what I'd like you to do is just to see what happens when you delete one of these. So if I right click on this one, you just click with your right mouse button and hit delete, now that's no longer forced to be horizontal. So I'm going to grab this, and often when you try to grab it, you can see I'm not having an easy time grabbing the point, but you got to get in there and get it. You can turn off your constraints if you want, but so basically what I'm showing you now is when you move this point, the two lines are still forced to be perpendicular, but the first line that I drew is no longer forced to be horizontal. So I just wanted you to see that. I can even flip it up and over. So I'm going to leave it looking like this, because now what I'd like you to do is put that line back to horizontal. So the way you do that is you can click the line and click, that's the equal sign. That's not the one you want, even though it looks similar. This one with the three little hashtag lines coming down, that's what you want. So click that, and now you can see this is back. It's back to being horizontal again. All right, I'm gonna make this a little bit shorter. Okay, the next thing, if you want to turn off these glyphs, so say you want to try to grab this point and you keep clicking on those, which is annoying, you can either right click and say hide all constraints, or you can hit F9. So now all those constraints are gone. The last thing that you should do for this Sketch Basics 2 is click the line tool again and come and make sure that Inventor turns its dot green so you can see it's yellow. And then when I get towards the end, you see how my mouse isn't quite on the point, but yet it's snapping to that point because it's green. So you want to click there, draw an angled line. Don't type in any sizes here. You can see now that it's snapping again to be horizontal. And then I'm going to draw this down, and you can see when I get near the end point of that line, it's going to snap to the end point as well. And you know that because it's green. And click that down and hit escape a couple times to get out of the line tool. Lastly, just turn on all the constraints again by hitting F8, or you can right click and say show all constraints. And now you can see all the constraints that were applied. That's the end of Sketching Basics 1, the front page. The next video will cover the second page.